And no one knows just how important a role these young people are playing today in Russia than Sergei Rakuba. Sergei is the president of Russian Ministries, and he joins us now from our Washington, D.C. bureau. Sergei, great to have you back on the broadcast. You started the Schools Without Walls program back in 2004. How successful has it been so far?
George, this is a great privilege for me to be again in your studio and to report what God is doing in my still troubled and so much needy homeland. And School Without Walls, it's a program designed to reach out, to train and mobilize the next generation of potential ministry leaders, Christian leaders, and not just in Russia, but entire former Soviet Union countries. When we started this program back in 2004 as a response to many different needs within the evangelical community, today it's becoming a great movement, and hundreds and basically actually thousands of next generation leaders are coming to this program to learn, to get trained, to get new concepts and methods and how to reach to their communities, especially in the light of new threats, politically, economically, morally in their communities. So this is those potential young leaders, those who will connect the evangelical local church with the community, reaching out to those people in need.
And Sergei, one of the key phrases that you guys use in your ministry is this idea of training the next generation leaders. How easy or difficult is it to find young people today in Russia to really get excited about sharing the good news of Jesus Christ?
George, after 20 years since Soviet Union collapsed, churches are in the greatest need today in the next generation. Leaders who will take the baton of faithfulness from the previous generation and will continue pushing, expanding the gospel, expanding God's kingdom in their country or in their countries in the former Soviet Union. It's not that easy today to find dedicated young people. So that's why School Without Walls is concentrating, reaching out to the next generation, mobilizing, training them, equipping them. And that's what the greatest need today within the evangelical community in Russia and other countries in the former Soviet Union, to reach, to train and equip the next generation, those who will, with their talents and enthusiasm, will continue expanding kingdom in their communities and helping their churches to connect with the contemporary society.
And speaking of contemporary society, one aspect that makes the Schools Without Walls program, in essence, very unique is your ability to partner with nationals and local churches in developing the next generation leaders, right? And that's very critical for you guys.
And that's the key point, George, so that we are training the next generation of leaders for the local churches, churches that we want to be more adequately reaching out the contemporary society. So this young people in understanding the contemporary culture, so they will be able to take all those threats as opportunity, as an opportunity for evangelism, and will continue spreading the gospel, preaching the word of God, and bringing peace in the community of under threat.
One of the things that you guys focus not just on the adult generation, but Russian Ministries has a particular interest in ministering to young kids. My understanding is that you have this project called Project Hope, and as of this year in March, you have reached nearly 52,000 children with the gospel message. Reaching the young children is so critical to training the next generation leaders.
And young children, George, that's the future of Russia. That's the future of the countries of the former Soviet Union. And that's what happens when you train young people, those who can put all their creativity and giftedness into their ministry. And that's their idea to come up with this project and reach out to tens of thousands of needy children in Arctic Siberia, in the turbulent area of Northern Caucasus, in poor communities in Siberia like Krasnoyarsk. And that's what young leaders can do, to mobilize their churches, to bring resources, to raise funds, to put all their, whatever they possess, into this passion and continue reaching especially children, the youngest ones, those who are at the most risk in the society today in Russia.
We just have a few seconds left, Sergei. The church in Russia, as you know, and throughout, in fact, the former Soviet Union still suffers some level of persecution. In fact, the evangelical church in Russia is often viewed as a cult. What is being done today to overcome this perception, sir?
Unfortunately, that's the case today in Russia. So all the predominant role in the religious field was given to the Orthodox Church, and the evangelical community is looked as more kind of foreign. However, there is still a chance, and young generation, young potential leaders, they're taking all the possible chances in order to establish themselves and establish the role of the evangelical church in contemporary society. There are lots of dialogues, there are lots of meetings, conferences take place, and they try to unite cross-denominationally in order to improve their position in the post-Soviet, but today more nationalistically minded society, and they're having lots of success in this regard.
Okay, Sergei Rakuba, a good friend of our organization and our broadcast. Sergei, as always, sir, thank you so much for joining us.